Hey everyone, Greg here. Just wanted to hop through and give some thoughts on my trade in GPS today, as well as lay the foundation for tomorrow's focus list and trading YPF and TGT. So let's just hop right in. First things first, of course, we'll go to GPS and quickly cover some characteristics that caught my eye. So first things first, obviously we have the highest volume in 1 year. That is one of the most aggressive institutional accumulation signatures that I look for in the market, and tells us that, after a strong earnings report, we see accumulation from institutions, right? And so we're expecting follow through and follow on buying, because everyone who traded, 69 million shares this day are likely to come back if the market's good and accumulate further. So we have HV1, that is the highest volume in 1 year. We also have a 30% price change, which is huge. And then if we look at the closing range, we got 86% closing range. So that, again, those are the three characteristics we look for right off the bat to help us grade and prioritize which earnings gaps we want to trade. Really quick, going down that same thought, if we look at TGT, another one here, this was only up 17%, and it was not the highest volume in 1 year. So again, that to me tells me, the accumulation in something like GPS is probably a little bit stronger, right? So watching that, and then now, once we've gotten the first day gap, let's talk about what we do on day two, right? And so today, if I pulled up a 2-minute chart here, and let me just hide the volume there. So we're looking at yesterday's close, which was 17.8688, which I guess will be perfect there, 8.5 on the daily. And on this open, we open above, so that's scenario number one, right? And we're looking to set limit orders on the 17.85 HVC, which I actually had stop orders because originally it was below. Anyways, got filled at 17.94. with my stop loss under 17.5. And the reason I chose 17.5 is if we look back on this day here, which was the day one gap, we found VWAP support right above 17.5, and then we see a bunch of lows right in this area, throughout the day, again, right on 17.5. So to me, that's where a bunch of the volume was traded, and if you look, this is the volume based on, the volume profile based on the session. We see 17.5 being the support. So that's where I placed my stop. It was actually 17.45, so I gave it 5 cents under. Today's low was 17.51. Again, that is a repeatable way to find a stop. Look at the prior day's traded volume. Where was it finding support intraday, and then placing stops below that. You don't want to be 1 cent below, because there can be, some shakeouts, whatever the case may be. Be a little bit further below, which is what I do, and then see how we go. So I could have been adding, actually, after I saw the 17.5 hold and then reclaim a VWAP. That would have been a good spot to add. I also could have added back here on VWAP. Either way, don't want to get too far into the weeds here, but the point is, I risked, let's call it 1.7, 1.8%, and I'm already up 3.5, right? So that's about 2R right on the day, and we'll see if we can follow through. Now, if we look at something like SONO, which is the exact same setup, more or less, we see a big gap, 17% change, touch this HVC, and then follow through higher today. So did we trade this SONO name, we would be up 7.5% right from the HVC in two sessions. So that's, one way to go about it and see that, if my risk is 1%, 2%, 3%, I'm already up multiples of my risk. So last piece here, we'll go into YPF, which is the focus for tomorrow. So I've already laid out some key spots on the intraday chart back here, as well as here is the volume profile, which looks to be right at 14.9. So that's a good spot to either accumulate shares or, if we get right at the HVC here on the open tomorrow morning, we'll be able to set stops, a little bit below that. We can even go prior day VWAP right at 14.83. So those would be the two areas I'm looking to play stops tomorrow. So we got 14.9, 14.83 stops. And then if you're willing to let it, come back further, this 14.14 would be another, final stop. So if you want to take it in pieces, that would be one way to do it. So again, we'll just go through the grading criteria. We have the highest volume in 1 year. Looks like some news, whatever. Don't really care. I'll look into it later. We have HV1, which is the highest volume in 1 year. I already spoke about that. We have the 39% price change, which is huge. And then we have a, let's call it, sorry, I can see 81% daily closing range. Boom. So there we go. We've graded. We found a high quality setup for tomorrow. We have a plan. You know, if we gap and start here, so let me just go like this. If we gap, come back in, and then retrace, that would be what I would be looking for on tomorrow's session. Or if we are set to open below, I'd be looking for an open, maybe a come back in, consolidate under, and then take the HVC all in the same session. So we'll see, but that's what I'm thinking for tomorrow. Again, went through YPF, which was the main focus. TGT is another one on the secondary focus. It's building nicely under the 130 range. It's not a coincidence. So let's just look at the VRP, the volume profile here on this name. If once it loads, we'll look at it right about 130, which is the HVC of 130.46, right? So big volume through this level tomorrow. I'd be getting long with stops under this day and then living with the results. Love the consolidation here. Again, we got GPS, which is in the same sector, I believe. And, you know, we'll get some group theme working for us. So I got YPF, TGT, GPS all covered. Hope that was helpful and helps you prep for tomorrow. And we'll talk. Thanks.